And welcome to the inside of a very large mill for the area. Considering it's still standing, this is an excellent spot. Just show off everything that's kind of left behind when a mine closes. Beautiful artifacts here. And some fairly rare ones as well, as far as I'm aware. Now, there's no way any of this is coming out of this place. The road is almost impassable. So, another year or two, I'll be able to even get a truck down it. It's exclusively ATVs and side-by-sides from there. So, sites like this are remaining as they are. It's beautiful. Beautiful to see. It's kind of creepy in here because I'm the only person out on this side of the mountain today. I have not passed a single other person or even another car. I know some people use cabins from other mines down the hill as sort of vacation homes, but they're still not as far up as this one is, and not as large. Very impressive all the way through. But this site was a silver mine, started in the very late 1880s, which is very industrious because this is, like, I'm at 7,500 feet here in the mountains. This is not easy country to work in. But apparently the mines up here were very profitable. Loads and loads of gold came out of these mines. This specifically is a 50-ton per day mill. I think it was recently used as the 1950s, which is sort of suggested by some of the equipment here. Very, very old stuff in here. But it's beautiful. Beautifully well preserved. Still in great shape for all these very deep mountain winters. Like this year they had over 100 inches of snow, 2,000 feet below where we are now. So, you can imagine. Here's the balls for the ball mill that's just on the other side of this. That's what that large sort of structure in the middle is. It's a ball mill. Basically a bunch of steel balls like these would be dropped in along with the ore. The ore would bounce around in there, get crushed by all these steel balls, and the rock would be far smaller when it comes out the other side. And when it comes out the other side, it would typically go into further crushing and processing. The ball mill doesn't really do a lot to get it really small, which is what they need. So from there it'd be pumped into spots like this to get the fine gold out. Then there's further crushing equipment to get really, really fine down here. And we'll get down there pretty soon. For now though, I'm just trying not to touch anything because I want this preserved as much as possible. A lot of oil leaking out of that little engine. Got a nice logo on it up there. It's pretty neat. Big old Caterpillar motor here. That one's really cool. It's in excellent shape as well. Up here, past this rather heavy door I just opened, there's another door, but with this one closed. There are stairs all the way to the top of the mill here, which is about 50 feet above us. So we're going to climb that real fast. Let's see, I think it's a gas tank there. Yeah, it would have been a gas tank for the large Caterpillar motor, which probably was a generator for the whole place. But you can see the superstructure of it all here. There's someone trying to kind of keep it all together up there. That's pretty admirable. This is technically a claimed site still. some more equipment I didn't know about over there. Very cool. And there's a bunch of signs that say they're going to be working the mine, but those signs that say they're going to be working the mine have been there for at least 10 years, I'd say. Still climbing the stairs here. It's very steep, very thin. They lead up to the intake. And this, very careful here because there's a lot of chemicals and everything stored above here still. I'm out of shape, combined with it being 7,500 feet or more in the air, and it's hard climbing those stairs. But this is a jaw crusher here. All of the ore would come out of the main haulage adit, which is above this, be dropped down into an ore chute. That ore chute would be flipped up. Rock would tumble down into this jaw crusher run by this very large electric motor here. You can see the jaw crusher there. And then from there, the ore would be passed down to that ball mill just beneath us here, where they do all the further processing to get the free gold out. Then there's some other spots where they do more fine working to get the rest out. I'm going to head back down those stairs here. I'll catch you in a second. Over there is the doorway that I went up to go up the stairs. I've come outside now, where that Caterpillar engine is. It's hidden under the blue tarp there. And you can see the electrical generation method they used here. Very large dynamo, which is driven directly from the Caterpillar engine. So that would have run everything there. It's really cool. You can see the clutch and the brakes and everything in there. The assembly. It's all really well put together. And this is why this mill is not going to do much longer. Not going to be up much longer, rather. These beams have not taken, or have not lasted the best with these various winters up here. I mean, held up a little bit more this way, but it's not going to last forever here. I'm now going to meet you on the other side of the Caterpillar here in just a second. And I'm now just beyond the Caterpillar engine, which is right there. Past the auger here, the motors and the ball mill. We're heading down these stairs. It's very wet here, so it's not unusual to see water around. This is the rest of the processing equipment though. This would get the gold very fine during the final processing steps. It would make the miners very happy to see gold at the end here in the sluices. You can see the small kind of cages over there that would sit in here where they would collect the gold. And the water would just drain right out. Be used again during this whole same process. There is an excess of water up here. One of the first things you hear when you step out the door is a roaring creek coming out of one of the collapsed adits that's above this. The actual main haulage adit is what's pumping out that much water. But they wanted to reuse as much as possible to make it easier on themselves, I'd think. There's a whole bunch of what appears to be a former possible kitchen and assay site in here. I'd say more like the assay. Wouldn't want a kitchen around everything else up here. There's a nice stove, sink, all still relatively intact. The boards holding the roof up are not going to last more than another year or two, I'd say. That is exceedingly unfortunate, because this site is beautiful. I hate to see it not preserved. That's kind of why I came up here today. So I know it's not going to be standing much longer. I'm going to do an external walk around here in a second. But I want to grab a few pictures in here first because there's some beautiful artifacts. Like all this gear, as well as the circuit breakers and everything that remains of them. There's some of the used water and stuff as well. Too dark. There we go. So, we're going to go ahead and take a few pictures. And then I'll take an external walk around and show you guys what it looks like on the outside. I think it'd be pretty cool. It's an awesome building. And now that we're on the outside, you can kind of see just how tall the building is. Actually crazy. This is the room with the fine processing for the gold we just walked out of. It's right in there. We're going to walk around the side here now. We have a crawl space underneath. And the assay room is just kind of on the other side of that tree there. There's lots of remains kind of around this site too. Lots of things like these old wood pipes. Fairly well preserved, given the dryness outside of the winters. But the water that's rushing just beyond me here is actually runoff from the inside of the main haulage attic, so there's a lot. This mine I think had 3,000 feet of development, and it's kind of unfortunate that it's all closed up, both by collapses and by the people who want to mine it in the future. Lots of things like these rubber hoses also remain. There's actually lots here still. My camera's overheating, but I'm going to try and walk you this way, around the other side of the mill building. Quite a lot here going on. There's more wooden pipe leaving the mill building here. Probably where they dump most of the water is just kind of below everything. There's lots of tailings that they did dump out like that. That's where the assay room is, right in there. There's some extra water. And you can see where the electricity was carried inside and outside the building. It's pretty neat actually. There's some more runoff from outside the mill as well, from possibly another adit. But then that large platform down there is all tailings. Every bit of it. Crushed rock, some possible gold, lots of material. There's a whole bunch more of those wooden pipes down there as well. I have been down there before. Not going to go down there today because there's not actually a whole lot to see. Mostly just the wooden pipes. Over here is the rest of the mill. There's the rooms that we were in just before us. We're going to walk around the side here a little bit. And you can see the waste rock pile from the haulage at it. It is basically as tall as the mill. And you can kind of see on the back of the mill there where the mine carts would have rolled over a trestle into the top of the mill to bring in rock and material. Very cool stuff, that. Very picturesque building here. As well. And then if we go in here, this is the main side where that ball mill and everything is. It's literally just through this little kind of former side to the building. This isn't the main entrances here, so I just love looking at it. It's just a beautiful building. I think the mine owners came up this year, shoveled some snow out of the way and got in. Make sure everything's still here. There is a very new shovel right here. So, definitely still some activity up here. Some people coming up. There's a lot going on here and I love it. These are the inside of the ball mill, by the way. Right here, this pile. This is the inside, and these would be the steel plates that protect the ball mill from deforming and basically destruction when it's in use. And yeah, it's pitch black in there, so the camera's not focusing. But the whole ball mill itself is about 8 feet tall, I'd say. It's just huge. I love it. Just an enormous structure. All basically powered by one motor, too. That's what really gets me. Pretty damn cool. I'm going to take a few more photos of a few different things inside the mill here, like that platform where the pack rats and mice have made home, and then I'm going to head out of here. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to share this site while it still stands. It won't for very much longer at all. I'll see you in the next one, folks.